My name is Ken. My funeral is going to be today, but before my funeral begins, I have permission to tell my wife and I's love story. My wife's name is Lee. Mine is Ken. We met on a bus going to the Arabian Night Dinner Theater. It was a bus tour with a show with live performing horses with the dinner started. I didn't want to go. I kept telling my friends I didn't want to see some horses jumping around, but my wife-to-be wanted to go because she was lonely. So she called the touring company the day before the trip to see if there was a seat available. They said, yes, there's one seat left. We got on the bus at 10 o'clock the next day. When I sat down, I looked at the seat in front of me. It looked like it was empty. Then I saw this tiny head bobbing around. I said, my goodness, it's a tiny little lady. She looks so cute. She looks like a princess. Right away, I said, are you married? She said, no. Are you? I said, no, but I don't date. I only flirt, and I only flirt with pretty girls. She said, that's okay. We can be friends. I said, okay. By the way, I'm going to be Santa Claus for the next 3 days. She said, what time do you start? I said, 10 o'clock in the morning till 2 in the afternoon, starting tomorrow. So the next day, I was dressed as Santa Claus. I looked down the hall at Kmart. I saw Lee coming. She looked so pretty with her blonde curly hair and dressed so nice. I said, hi, Lee. I sure am glad you came. I'll introduce you to our cook. I introduced her to the cook named Paulette. Paulette says, Miss Lee, you want me to turn lights down low? She stayed for the whole trip. Second day, she shows up again. She said, hi, Santa Claus. Can I get my picture taken sitting in your lap? I said, only if you give me a copy of it. She said, I will. So she gave me a copy of it. She stayed all day. The next day, the third day, she was all dressed in pink. I took one look and I said, wow, you look gorgeous dressed in pink. She says, thank you, Ken. She said, Ken, I told my two sisters about you. They said they would like to meet you. Is that okay? I said to myself, uh-oh, she's setting this up. She said, one of my sisters married and the other single. Can we go today? I said, okay, today's fine. So we went to meet the sisters. She introduced me to Beverly first, the married sister, and she says, hi, Ken, our sister told us about you. She said she likes you a lot and you're very special. I'm pleased to meet you. The next part you won't believe. Don't forget we're not dating. She introduced me to Lisa. She said, Lisa, this is Ken. He is mine. Don't try to outdress me and don't try to take him away from me because he's mine. When she said he is mine, I wanted to be hers. But for the first 30 days, I respected her so much, I only kissed her on the hand. Our first date, I invited her to a Valentine's Day dance. She said, that sounds like a lot of fun. I said, after the dance, they're going to have a love story contest. She said, are you going to enter the love story contest? I said, I sure am, and if I tell the truth, we'll probably win. I said, first I'll pick you up for dinner, and then we'll go to the dance. When we started dancing, a couple of dances, then the disc jockey said, okay, everybody stop dancing. They said, I'm going to pick one couple that's going to dance by themselves. And he went over to us, he put his hands on our shoulders. He said, you're it. I was so proud. I had tears in my eyes out there all by myself with my beautiful person that I was going to marry. The next time, I realized in 30 days, I fell in love with her. I didn't want to tell her I was in love with her. I wanted to show her I was in love with her. So I worked out a plan. I said, would you like to come to my house tomorrow night for dinner? She said, you mean you cook too? I said, sure do. I'll make salads, cook a dinner, and I'll bake a chocolate cake with strawberry icing and coconut on it. I said, I'll tell you what, I'll pick you up tomorrow evening at about 5:30. I'll call you before I leave the house. So when I got home, I made 2 separate salads. With Lee's salad, with sliced cheese, I carved out the words, Lee, I love you. I put it around the inside of the salad plate, put the salad in the middle, put a cover on it, put it in the refrigerator. Then I did mine minus the cheese. I called Lee the next day. I said, I'm on the way to bring you to my house for dinner. When we got to my house, I escorted her inside. She sat at the dining room table. I went to the refrigerator. I got her salad out. I took the cover off of it. She took one look. She said, wow, I never had a little new salad before in my life. I love it. And then I said our blessing. We ate our salad and our dinner and our chocolate cake with strawberry icing and coconut on it. Then I took her home. I walked her to the door. I bent down to kiss her on the hand. She said, Ken, aren't we supposed to kiss on the lips? I said, oh, okay. So I kissed her on the lips. Her lips were sweeter than honey. Then she ate a piece of candy. She said, would you like a chocolate candy? I said, yeah, that'd be nice. So I had a chocolate kiss. 1 month later, I got my first love letter. I can remember every word of it. It was so beautiful. It said, dearest Ken, I will love you forever. I will laugh with you. I will cry with you. I'll take care of you if you're sick. I promise I'll never have a romantic interest in any other man. Love you forever, Lee. I said to myself, if she's going to love me forever, I better think about getting her an engagement ring before it's too late. So on her next birthday, we celebrated with her sisters. I told Lee and her sisters, I said, this is going to be the most exciting birthday party you've ever seen. They said, we doubt that. We've seen a lot of birthday parties. I said, okay, wait and see. So after I gave Lee her present, I said, uh-oh, I forgot something. I got down on my knees. I took an engagement ring out of my pocket. And I said, Lee, will you marry me? Her sisters were speechless. It took Lee 5 minutes to recuperate from what I asked her. Then she said, yes, I will. I then promised her we're going to have the most exciting wedding and marriage you've ever heard of, but I'm not going to tell you what it's going to be like until we get married. I said, but to start with, we're going to get married in 119 days. I said, I made up an ID card with your picture and my picture on it. Across the top it says, days before marriage, 119 days. I said, I'll wear it every day, and each day I'll change the numbers when it gets to the final day and just say, this is the day we're married. So after the wedding, I took my wife home to our house. I unlocked the door. First thing she saw was 250 lights from the living room to the dining room. I said, darling, this is our I love you lights. I said, each morning when I wake up, we'll turn it on. When I go to sleep, we'll turn it off. Now, in the living room, there was a sign below the lights that said, I'll always love you with all of my heart. In the dining room, there was another sign saying, thank you for being my wife. In the living room, over the big windows, using different color letters, happy anniversary. Then I said, we're going to celebrate being married every single day. She said, how are we going to do that? I said, each day I'm going to put a card in my pocket saying, days married. Days, months, and years. And anybody ask me, how long y'all been married? I'll show them the card. I said, then we're going to have our anniversary every month, not every year. And I'm going to make you one promise. The promise is I'll never get angry with you, not even for 5 minutes, because if I had 5 minutes of anger, I would lose 5 minutes of love. And I don't want to take a chance of losing that 5 minutes of love. Now, we had a wonderful marriage. Every time she had to go to the hospital, I stayed day and night. I didn't want to be away from her side. And when we had a meal, we always had the blessing and then 3 kisses. After being married for about 1 year, I had to take her to the emergency room at the hospital. The doctor said, we're going to have to admit you. She said, no, my husband will take care of me. He said, well, how about one night? She said, okay, one night, and that's it. And I said, I'll stay with you, darling, so you won't be scared. That's when I found out that she had end-stage kidney disease. Life expectancy 5 years. She didn't hear life expectancy 5 years, and I didn't tell her because I didn't want to scare her. So I just said, I just have to take special care of you. I can do that. So on the way home, I said, darling, I have a nickname for you. She said, what is it? I said, I'm going to call you Princess Lee. She said, oh, that's beautiful. She said, I got one for you then, Honey Bunny. I said, oh, that's cuter yet. So we got home. The first thing I did was make my wife a call bell in case she needed me if I wasn't in the room with her. It consisted of a doorbell kit, only the button on the outside was mounted on the inside on a small jewelry box with the words Princess Call Bell. I said, I'll plug the chimes into the outlet in the room where I'm at. If you need me, you just push the button and I'll come running. She pushed the button a lot, and then she started laughing. She said, I need a kiss. Oh, how sweet. Now, 2 months later, I took her to her kidney doctor. He said, Lee, your kidneys are so weak, you're going to have to go on dialysis pretty soon, or maybe even hospice. He gave her a book, Living on Dialysis or Hospice. I said, Dr. Creedy, she won't need that book. He said, how do you know? I said, I'm her husband. I love her. I take good care of her. I'll make sure she never goes on dialysis or hospice. So when I got home that night, I asked God for a miracle. I said, God, please cure my wife's kidneys. The next time she went to the doctor, she said, do you know what I want you to do to make your kidneys stronger? She said, what? He said, nothing. I can't find anything wrong with you, and I didn't fix it. I instantly thanked God. She never had trouble with her kidneys ever again, and we enjoyed every single day. If we was going someplace, she'd always say, are we going to be early? I said, yes. She said, how early? I said, 15 minutes. She said, then we have time for a kiss. So we pushed off to the side of the road when we had a kiss. Now, on September the 30th, 2017, I went to wake my princess up for breakfast. I always spoke softly to her. I said, Princess, darling, it's time for breakfast. She didn't respond. I said it again, Princess, darling, it's time for breakfast. She still didn't respond. I put my fingers on her lips. She wasn't breathing. I was heartbroken, but I didn't blame God. In fact, the first thing I did, I thanked God for giving us extra time to show each other how much we love each other. Then I thanked God for having my wife pass away in her sleep where she wouldn't suffer. And I thank God for taking her to heaven where she'd be happy for eternity. I asked God to do the same for me. The next thing I did, I called 911. The first two people to arrive was a lady and a man. The lady said, Mr. Kelly, my heart saddens that your wife passed away. After seeing all these lights and these signs saying how much you love your wife, you made your wife a very happy bride. She said, can I take pictures of them? I said, sure, that's okay. She said, do you know why I want them? I said, no. She says, because I'm engaged. When I get home, I'm going to show my husband these pictures and say, this is the way I want to be treated when I marry you. Now, on my wife's prayer wall, they asked me, do you want her name, the date she was born, and the date she passed away? I said, no. I want the name Princess Lee in gold letters. They couldn't say, we never had anything like that with no last name or no date. It's beautiful. Thank you for listening to my love story. I don't have to add anything or take anything away, but I do have a side part to tell. About 3 weeks after my wife passed away, 4 preachers came up to my door and they rang the doorbell. They said, can I talk for a while? I said, sure. What's it about? They said, we're going to have a class on how to have a happy Christian marriage. I said, are you kidding me? You don't know it, but you came to the right house. They went inside, they saw all these lights and all these signs. They said, this brings tears to our eyes. Can we take pictures and notes? And I said, no, not until you hear my complete love story. I told them the love story. They said, can we go in the other room to talk for a while? I said, sure. So they came back, they said, we decided we don't need that love story, how to have a happy Christian marriage. We want you to tell your love story at 4 different churches once a month. We'll take you there. After you tell the love story, we'll give you a dinner and bring you back home. I said, wow, that sounds great. Went to 4 different churches. The last one was in Kissimmee. There was 100 people. I told my love story. To show their appreciation, I called them out. I said, would you like to come to my house for dinner? They said, wow, that sounds great. They said, wow, even candlelight. Yes, I said, I want to thank you for all you've done for me. I said, I wanted to print my wife's love story, but I only finished the 8th grade, so I don't know how to do it. They said, we'll do it for you. They called Amazon.com. A reporter called me and asked me, said, what would you like your love story to be called? I said, the true love story of Lee and Ken. She said, okay, send me a lot of pictures. So I sent pictures, also a picture of the cake, the chocolate cake with strawberry icing. So she said, okay, I'll publish the book. I'll send you a proof and see if you like it. So when I got the book, I opened up. I couldn't believe it. I started laughing. It showed the true love story of Lee and Ken and a picture of chocolate cake with strawberry icing and coconut on it. I called him instantly. I said, I laughed when I saw the cover of the book. She said, what would you suggest? I said, well, it looks like Lee and Ken likes chocolate cake. I would suggest us in our wedding outfits. And then put the lease there. She said, okay, we'll do it that way. So they told me, they said, you get $1 royalty from every book printed. I said, I don't want it. I said, the royalty is having my wife and I story printed. I said, give it to the pastors that helped me write the story. So now they said, you won't get a lot of books because it's a small book. You'd be lucky to get maybe 35 books. I found out just recently, after my wife passed away for 7 years, the book is worldwide in different languages. I couldn't believe it. Thank you for listening to my love story. I don't have to add anything or take anything away. It's all real. Thank you.